Prior to this, I used to think those people that always scores A are genius, like somebody that are very extraordinary. But guys, it's a lie. That's not how it is. Getting A's in your exam in schools and all of that is actually quite easier than you thought. Just some simple things here and there that you just need to put together, and it works like magic. I tried it the first time, it worked. The second time, because I didn't want to come up here and start sharing things I was not sure. You went from 2.75 to 3.32 and then 3.47. So I'm going to share with you how I did that and how you can also do it. Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing alright. If you're new here, you are especially welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on post notification, and give this video a thumbs up if you're not. Hi guys, welcome back again to another video. As you already read the title, this video is going to be how you can improve academically. I'm going to be doing a little backstory so that you guys can understand what I will be talking about. About 2 years ago, I decided to go back to school after spending more than 3 years at home working. It took me almost 3 years to realize that I really want to go back to school. So I was doing a program which is higher diploma. Before higher diploma, you do national diploma. Then the program is 2 years. Then after 2 years, you do your IT. Then come back for the HND program. So when I did my ND program, the full 2 years, which because of Nigerian strike, I actually used 3 years, I graduated with a lower class result. University cgpa is on 5 points, while polytechnic is on 4 points, like in general. And I had 2.87, which was lower. So we have distinction, upper, and then lower, then pass. Lower class is like the average. So, and majority of people falls into the average categories. So when I decided to go back for my HND, the first semester exam that we did, when the result came out, I had a 2.76. This is also a lower class again. I was like, what? There's no way this is, I'm not going to let this happen. They're not going to finish my HND with a lower class. I was damn serious about it because I just didn't really want that. Went online, I started making a lot of researches on how to improve your academics. I knew that I read the first semester, that's the time that I had the 2.75. I read during my ND. I actually read a lot, reading all night. You mentioned it, going for classes, going for tutorials, going for night reading, all of that. Yet you're still not able to get ahead of that average mark. I was making a lot of findings, which is what led me to all the tips I'll be sharing in this video. So I put them down so that I don't forget. Setting your priorities. What do you want, or what do you not want? So a lot of time people ask us things like, what do you want? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve? And sometimes we might probably not know, like, okay, what we want, but we always know what we don't want. I know that I do not want to graduate with an average result. Setting the priority and knowing what is your top most important priority at that moment and making sure that is what you are prioritizing is very, very important. Rid of distractions, guys, especially in the days, this our age, this our social media life. Guys, social media can damage your life if you do not pay attention. Is it comedy? Is it entertainment? People dancing, watching people live their life while your own time is just, passing you by and you're just watching money and night, going like that. And all you do is be on your phone and, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It can actually also affect you during exam, because there are times that you're supposed to probably be doing other things and you are pressing your phone, scrolling and all of that, because I knew this used to happen to me. As a matter of fact, when it's a month let me say a month, because this last semester it was so hard for me to get rid of social media. It was almost a month to exam. I had to, I don't even, like mute or no, I don't even want to go about it like that. I uninstalled, like totally uninstalled. I uninstalled Netflix, like Instagram, every social media aspect. I know that they are not really important. The only social media that I felt like I used to leave most of the time was is YouTube. And I leave YouTube because I watch tutorial videos on YouTube, like okay, maybe there's a calculation that I'm trying to understand that I did not get. There's a lot of tutorial on YouTube on calculations, like many questions that you have, you can actually type it on YouTube and you'll see a video explaining clearly how to solve a problem, solve an equation, and how to have a better understanding of an equation. So that's the only app I leave on my phone when it's a month to exam. Instagram gone, TikTok, because it's a distraction. So you will not see me online at that time. Even though WhatsApp, you will not see my status, you will not see anything like that. If you're even messaging me, if it's not important, that message will probably be there for till I'm done with exam. So I'm always like, okay, this period, this is it. I'm putting my head down, which is why that tip number one is important, because knowing that, okay, this is my priority. My priority at this moment is to have a good result, and exam is approaching. What I need to do is to focus on having a good result, focus on my upcoming exam, and getting rid of any other thing that is not serving, any purpose, to make that my priority, be achievable. Tip number 3, this one is the most important aspect. This one is the secret, and it is your reading habits. Guys, when I came across this particular reading habit, in my head I didn't first understand it, because after making a lot of findings, I finally get to understand it. And guys, this actually really work, and this is active recall. Guys, this is the only thing you need. If you can practice this very well, I promise you, I guarantee you, your results will not be the same. Your result is going to improve and you will see it. Okay, so active recall is a study tips that change literally people's life. Basically what it is that instead of before, if I'm preparing for exam, what I usually do is making notes out of probably my textbook or any other materials that I will be using. I will be picking out points, taking notes from those materials and all of that. But what I realize is that those time that I'm using to take those notes and all of that is actually me wasting my time, because they are not really helping. Those time I'm supposed to be reading, I am using it to take notes. And people will say, when you are taking the notes, you're probably reading it too, so it's sticking. It doesn't stick for me. No. Even when I take the notes, I can I will probably remember it at that moment, but probably like 2 hours or 3 hours later, I can hardly remember what I wrote down. So that's it. Instead of taking those notes, one of the things that I used to do is pick up my textbook, and then I take a red pen and rule the parts that I probably want to focus on, mark the parts or start it, and all those things to those parts that are very important to me in the materials. And then I now take a sheet just like this. This is how I do my active recorder. It works for me. So I take the sheet and then I write questions. Like I write the top, the course, probably like, okay, let's say fintech or something. I write the course, and then the questions are very important to me. So instead of writing out those notes from the textbook, I come here in this particular sheet and then I write it, topic 1. Then I start question. What is this? What is that? Example here, I have, this was one of my this is one of the sheets I used for last semester. This one I have this is practice of banking, and then the questions. Topic 1, I have what is security and what are the procedure of taking a securities. Explain the following terms: lien, pledge, assignment, mortgage, types of mortgage, defect of an equitable mortgage, merit of merit of stock and shares as security, demerits. What are the demerits? Then what are the execution of memorandum of deposits? What execution does a memorandum deposit contain? You know, something like that, stuff like that. And then topic 2. So all these questions are questions that I pick out from my textbook, like my area of focus, and I make use of past questions, so but not in the way most people use it, because you know many people solve past questions and then start writing the answer in notes. This is what I see a lot of people do, which I used to do myself. But instead of that, let's say a topic that I see that, okay, this topic is always coming up in past question, each past question, I go to my materials and then I, you know, start the topic and then look at the topic from beginning till the end and pick out questions that I see that, okay, these are the important part of this topic. I underline them and then come here and create a question about it and write them down here. Once I have the questions like this, the thing I do is I read my notes. That's the one in the textbook. I read from the textbook. I know that this is very stressful because a lot of my friends used to say they can't read from textbook because it's just stressful or because they think it's too tiny. But I actually do it, especially if you know, underline the part you want to read. It's actually easier that way. But if you that thing that I do hold class, lecturers might give some key points that are not in the textbook and you want to probably take them down like a note taking. So what I do most of the time is, you know, tear a sheet of paper and then everything is talking about, I jot it down. And then once I jot it, that sheet of paper, I put it in the page of that particular topic in my textbook. So I put it in that page so that when I'm reading, I can, when I get to that page, I'll see the notes. That's the sheet of paper that have the, you know, jotted note from the lecturer in class. I can see the points that, okay, then I can be checking out the points and then reading from the textbook at the same time. This is actually very, very helpful because I realized that even notes sometimes it's like, how do you do it? Because you want to read from textbook, you want to read from the notes. It can be, you know, all over the places, and you probably might forget some information. There are some tips that are very, very important that are not in the textbook, but if you have them in like probably a small, you know, very small sheet of paper, and then it's in your textbook, you can easily just see it there and then go through it before reading that topic itself. Once I read the textbook, the next thing I do is active recalling, which is why we need this. So I ask myself, okay, topic 1, what is this? So instead of reading every time, instead of reading from the textbook, you know, before the exam, it is better once you read from the textbook to some extent, then you come here and start asking yourself questions instead of just reading like that. It is easy to just forget some information if you are just reading and not asking yourself the questions on what you are reading, which is why I think this active recalling is actually very, very helpful. So when you ask yourself, okay, topic 1, what is this? If you are able to remember it, good. If you are not able to remember it, just mark that question that, okay, this question, I need to go back to it again. Keep going back to those questions you don't remember. Don't waste your time reading and reading and reading and reading. That is not how it works. You will just end up, you know, read, and then you enter the exam hall and you still can't remember probably half of the things you read, because it was just as if it was just a passive way of, you know, assimilating information, because it's just like this, it's just going like this like in this direction. But if you're able to ask yourself questions on those topics, it brings back the memory that, oh, okay, what is this, what is this, what is this? It's like recalling them, because the information might be in your, you know, memories already, but because you are not asking the right question to bring them out, you are just trying to remember them, you might not remember. but with questions you'll be able to remember them, and then in exam hall it also works like that. Next step is making use of your surrounding. This is also very important. At times you could, be reading from your textbook while sitting down or while lying down. Another time you want to stand up, another time you want to walk around, read out, probably talk to yourself, like you're sometimes it look crazy, it looks like, what's going on, are you running mad? But trust me guys, it actually really work, because okay, let's take for an instance my second semester HND1. I prefer to sleep in the sitting room on the floor during exam period, because of the fact that I can't sleep conveniently on the floor. My body is always, I get to wake up early, I get to read early. Last semester that wasn't working. I was feeling so tired because I was sleeping on the floor. I had to go back to bed and start sleeping during exam period. So just try different things. Anyone will probably work for you. Write on the board, like I have my board here. Write things that you easily forget on the board. Write it in different places. Guys, so that is it about this video. I hope you find it helpful. I'm going to be talking more in another video about active recalling. Let me know in the comment section if you guys want to see the video. See you guys in the next video. Bye.